Hey guys, this is part 3 of the Monster Collection review. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2, please look down below for the links to each of those parts and watch those before you watch this one. So it's all in order. And that said, let's get on to the movies. So the first movie of the night was Sisters of Death from 1977, directed by Joseph Mazuka. Okay, so the first movie, this one kind of cheats a little. The first one is Sisters of Death, like I said. So this one's actually not a monster movie. It is actually a slasher movie. It is in no way, shape, or form does a monster show up unless you want to call the killer a monster. And even then, that's stretching it. It is so dumb. It does not belong in the channel in this collection. So that will affect my rating. It will not be the best movie of this four. Regardless of the rating, because these are supposed to be monster movies, and this wasn't a monster movie, so that immediately cuts it. It's gone. Which, whatever. Anyway, so this movie, the plot is there's a secret society of these girls. The one girl, there's two initiates and four who are already part of this group. The idea is that become part of the group, you gotta take a gun, like they put a fucking nice little golden gilded derringer, load it with a fake bullet, a blank, and fire it behind the girl's head. And if they flinch or something, I guess they're out. But as it's supposed to look like an accident, but when one girl does it, it's fine. The other girl gets shot, actually gets her head blown out, which you don't really see. It just kind of shows her taking the shot, and then like the body on the ground with some blood. Um, so you're led to believe that this was an accident at first, but it actually wasn't. Um, somebody had placed a real bullet. Somebody saw the person place a real bullet. It's really confusing, and it sets up the twist's ending, which is Shyamalanian at best. Um, so basically, years go by after the accident. All the girls get invited to this party. The drivers were just supposed to drop them off, but then they came back and hung out with the girls. So now there's all these victims here, and they all get bumped off. Like one gets bumped off kind of early, I guess. In as the first kill, she gets a garrote to the neck. But then like nothing happens. It's just a lot of them speculating how to get out. Like they start planning on how to escape and stuff, because the whole place they're staying in, this really nice mansion type thing, has a giant electric fence around it. So it's a very simple way to keep people in. So everyone starts getting killed off randomly. Like one girl gets trapped in a shed, gets bitten by a snake and dies. One of one of the other dudes is trying to do something, and then he gets scared off by a dog, and the dog chases him, and he runs into the electric fence. As I said, one of the girls gets garroted. Um, and then I guess like I'm saying as if this happens like boom, 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 like boom, and then some time to react and stuff. No, like the girl gets garroted, and then like nothing, and then in like the last 10, scratch that, like 5 minutes, everybody fucking dies. It's absolutely going off the rails nuts. So it's a lot of character development, and it's revealed that yes, somebody actually did murder the one, and the person that murdered the one girl, and the person who wants revenge is the father, and the witness want revenge on the girl. And then eventually it is like like it plays like the finale is they played off like the people, like the man and the witness are crazy, and then the main dude saves the last girl, and then the main bad guy, he's playing Russian roulette with a fucking Gatling gun. He pulls off this cloth, and it's like whew, and he's got this this Gatling gun, like the crank Gatling gun, that he hand loaded with real ammo and fake ammo. So he's going like he's spinning it while he's cranking, going like this, and it's like, boom, miss, bullet, like bullet, miss, bullet, miss, bullet, miss. Like it's so random. It's like completely unexpected. I mean, it would work for Russian roulette, but anything usually you use a revolver. Don't ask how I know. I don't. I've never played it, but I'm just gonna stop. Just gonna move on. So anyway, the ending is the witness and the main dude. He's going with the Gatling gun. The main, our protagonist guy gets up. He knocks away the bad guy and kind of helps the one woman escape. And as they're running down the stairs, the other girl, the witness girl, runs into the way of the Gatling gun, gets shot only once, but because of course there's fake and real bullets in there anyway. So she gets shot and is bleeding out, and she's dead. And then the old guy just kind of survives, like the main villain-esque character. He just survives. He doesn't really do anything. Then they get outside the compound and stuff. The main guy and the woman, and then the one guy's like, "We made it," and the woman's like, "No, I made it," and and it ends with a freeze frame on the girl's face with a gunshot. I was just like, wow, that was a silly twist. But so this movie, it's kind of boring, and then everything just happens at the last in the last 10 minutes. There's some character stuff, not real. None of these characters are super built, well written, or interesting. So I'm gonna have to give this one a 5. Like it's actually I'll go 6 with the creative Gatling gun. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Gatling gun was kind of fun for a Russian roulette slasher villain weapon. That was kind of interesting. But that was Sisters of Death. Can't recommend it. And I wish I could recommend one of these colored movies once, but God, they're just so bad. Like consistently boring and average. So that's going to do it for Sisters of Death, and we're going to move on to the next movie. Next on the list, we have The Monster Maker from 1944, directed by a returning director who did The Mad Monster in 1942. This one is directed by Sam Newfield, so cool, I guess. Okay, so the next one was The Monster Maker by Sam Newfield. So this one I can say is definitely better than The Mad Monster. So this movie I actually did really enjoy. It was kind of different for what it was. So the plot synopsis, and of course spoilers, like any of you fucking care. This movie is like 70 years old. From like 1944, I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, so this movie is about a concert pianist and his daughter. They perform live on stage. That's how it opens. And then you meet this doctor character, Dr. Markov. I actually surprisingly remembered the name of a character in one of these movies. That's a pat on the back moment right there. Fuck yeah. So Dr. Markov is like, holy shit, this woman looks like my dead wife, that I should go marry this woman again so I can have my dead wife back. So he starts like trying to talk to the woman, and then it's not going anywhere. Nobody likes him. So then the father, the concert pianist, goes over to see Dr. Markov to tell him, hey, you stop trying to contact my daughter and stuff, being the dad character. And then some bad shit happens. Basically, there's a fight. He knocks him out. And then this doctor dude fucking injects him with a disease called, I think it's acromegaly or something like that. ACROG acro, yeah. Acro, Acromagly. That's it. There we go. Basically, it's makes your fingers, your head, parts of the head, your legs, your feet bigger, and so it's a really bad disease, and it is a real thing. It's absolutely 100% real. So he injects this dude with the serum that gives him the disease. I'm not gonna say it again. I tried it and I failed, and I'm not gonna try it again. So he goes home. He goes home thinking nothing's wrong, and then later they're discussing what happened, and he says, "Oh no, everything's okay. Everything's fine. I don't think anything's gonna happen." And then he starts playing the piano. He can't. He's starting to struggle playing little bit, and then some more time passes, and you see his hands have gotten bigger. His face has gotten a little bigger, a little puffy looking, and then so everybody he had to cancel shows and stuff. So everybody's wondering what's happening to him. Even his daughter and stuff are wondering what happened to him. And so while this is happening, the concert pianist guy eventually goes back to the doctor to figure out what happened, and he finds out that yes, the doctor did inject him, and finds out that the doctor is going to basically hold him to ransom for more money, to get lots of money, and for the cure for this disease in exchange. And also he wants to marry the concert pianist's daughter. So he's a very selfish kind of villain. He's a little more interesting than most mad scientists who are doing it because science. He's doing it because he has some goals and he wants to accomplish them. So it's actually more interesting when you actually write characters. Who'd have thought? Anyway, as the movie goes on, they kind of go back and forth. You get some interesting dialogue scenes with the doctor and his assistant. The assistant objects completely to what's going on, but she can't do anything because the doctor's strong-arming her along and stuff. So it's all very interesting. I don't want to get too much into it because I actually do recommend this one. This is the best of the night. As the movie goes on, they find the doctor, and the dad's all like restrained and stuff, and the doctor's trying to like talk his way out of the situation, but everybody kind of has figured out something's up. So then the daughter character, and I think there's a news reporter or something that's there too, that becomes a character. I think he's a news reporter, or you just started seeing the daughter. And so they show up at Dr. Markov's office. And there's a bit of a scuffle, bit of a back and forth. Then they try to run away to escape, while somehow the diseased concert pianist guy breaks out of his chains and starts wrestling with the doctor. And the doctor had a gun. There's a gunshot that goes off. And then the assistant, the daughter, and the man all come back into the room. They find the doctor dead. Then they kind of help the diseased concert pianist back to the bed, and they realize, oh shit, he was the only one that knew how to do this. But as it turns out, the assistant had been reading the notes, listening in on conversations, and just generally paying actual attention to what the doctor was doing. So she administers the cure and stuff. So then the doctor heals up eventually, and he goes back to playing. He and the daughter go back to playing their shows, and the man and the assistant woman and the movie ends with them playing a show, and the man and the assistant woman are watching them play. So this movie is actually really good. I would strongly recommend The Monster Maker. Surprisingly, it's actually, I went in not expecting much because of Sam Newfield's previous movie. He did what was it? the Mad Monster, so that one wasn't as good. It just felt a lot more rip-offy. This one is a completely original idea, and I did like it. I'm gonna have to give this, you know what? I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I couldn't really find any pacing issues. The story went along pretty well. Lots of character development, well-written characters that you like. There's good drama in it. That's what was surprising. It is a good drama piece. So I'm gonna have to give it that rating. So that was The Monster Maker. So let's move on. The third movie was Monstrosity, made in 1963, directed by Joseph V. Maskely. There is an alternate title for TV called The Atomic Brain. Okay, so this is the Monstrosity review here. So, Monstrosity, or The Atomic Brain, if you will, is about a mad scientist. Who'd have fucking guessed? I'm getting sick of these fucking mad scientists up in my monster movies, you know? So basically in this movie, mad scientist is doing the Frankenstein thing of playing with brains, except he's using nuclear fission to somehow transfer animal brains into freshly dead corpses. It makes no sense. Don't try it. This was made in 1964? 63, 64. I don't know. But anyway. So it was right in that era of nuclear age. We don't really know what the fuck it does, but it does something. Especially for science fiction movies. We didn't really know what it does. Now we just know it really makes people sick and blows things up real good. Anyway, so yeah, he's using... The opening scene is absolutely hilarious. It's like really, really serious narration about this doctor character who's like, and I can't even deliver it. It's so funny because it's like he has never tried this experiment before or something like that, and like it shows like this little like bomb shelter type thing. There's a dead woman in it, and it lowers down into like this smoke. And then it comes out a fucking skeleton. It was amazing. It was the best thing in this fucking movie. It was so funny. So then after you get that amazing scene, you figure out what's actually the actual plot is this elderly old woman wants a new body. That's why she's funding Dr. Nutso's or whatever fucking experiment so she can get her brain into a new young body, and that's that. So so she puts out a calling for some housemaids. 3 of them show up. Shenanigans ensue. Eventually they just kind of hang out and they learn some of these characters. Like they learn about each other. They learn about the old woman, and like her caretaker is an old man. Then there's also the doctor. They meet all these characters. There's a lot of back and forth, lots of patting until they capture one of the ladies, and she gets her. She's alive, and they capture her and they put the doctor's favorite cat's brain into the woman. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that sink in for a moment, because just think on that for a moment. It's as absolutely ridiculous as it sounds. So then this cat woman, for the lack of a better term, basically the actress just walks around like pawing at stuff and making faces while they just ADR'd in, they just added some lines over her with like some cat noises. So it's just really badly mixed. So it's terrible, as if we couldn't understand that she's a cat. So yeah, that happens, and then the cat lady is climbing on a rooftop, and then she eventually fucking falls and dies not after like clawing at someone or something and taking her fucking eye out. So then the cat lady's dead. There's a woman who's tied up. Next time you see her, she's got bandages over her eyes. And they have the fucking eyeball sitting in like a petri dish next to the nuclear equipment. Like on top of the nuclear equipment. Not sealed or like in a jar or anything. It's just sitting on a plate. Eyeball. Next to the nuclear equipment. It's so stupid. So then some more stuff happens. Then you find out that if anybody finds out about these experiments, they're just going to blow the place up. That's the failsafe. It's so stupid. It's like, the doctor turns to the old lady, is like, if anybody finds out about my experiments, this place will become nothing more than an irradiated hole in the ground. I'm like, that's a bit extreme, but okay, cool, whatever. So the movie goes on, and all shit starts breaking loose. Eventually, they decide to capture one of the final woman, who's only the final woman because she's intact. They go to do the brain transplant, but then he puts the old woman's brain in the cat, I guess, because they needed the old lady to have her comeuppance, even though it kind of comes out of left field. The doctor just grows a conscience. So then the doctor goes to check his equipment inside the machine. The cat closes the door, turns on the nuclear power, and then runs away. And then the other woman gets out of her bonds and escape, and like grabs the other lady while the place starts burning down, even though that's not how radiation works. Unless it's a really, really, really slow nuclear bomb going off. Basically, so the final girl goes back and gets missing eye woman. The missing eye woman goes to grab her eye, and something explodes in her face, killing her, and it happens so quickly, it's out of nowhere. So yeah, she's dead, and then the one woman escapes and she falls down outside the house, and she watches it burn down and stuff, and then it shows the cat on frame, and it's like, Mrs. So-and-so will get her revenge. It's like, they are not sequel baiting this shit. But they do. They did. And they did sequel bait it. I don't think they ever made a follow-up. If they did, somebody please find me this movie. So anyway, that was Monstrosity. It's called Monstrosity because the dude put a dog brain in a man and it turned him into the Wolf Man as a monstrosity. And there's also a woman that he created that has reanimated but has no brain. So the rules of this movie make no sense. The science behind it, the pseudoscience, doesn't make any sense. The characters are all forgettable. Me describing it is more exciting than actually watching this piece of shit. 5 out of 10. It works. There's some fun ideas, but again, you have to sit through so much boring just to get to the scenes that make no sense. So 5 out of 10 on that one. That's Monstrosity. And let's move on to the final film. And the final movie was Bride of the Gorilla. I always want to say The Bride of the Gorilla, but it's always Bride of the Gorilla. Directed by Kurt Siodmak, Siodmak, so I don't even know, from 1951. Alright, so this is Bride of the Gorilla, the last movie of this collection. Unfortunately, it's not the last movie. Fuck, I want to be done with this shit. But I'm so close, and I can almost taste victory on this one. This is not going to be the project that defeats me. Hell no. So anyway, this is Bride of the Gorilla. So it's basically about this one plantation owner who wants to, or he's just the plantation owner. He's not thinking of closing it or anything. He's just a plantation owner. You don't really get to know too much about him before he's bumped off. So basically, the story is about this plantation worker, played by Raymond Burr, called Barney. And I only say that because I recognize the name Raymond Burr. There's also Lon Chaney Jr. in this, so whatever, man. Anyway, so Barney is like this plantation boss foreman dude. He is the guy who hires all the other workers for the plantation, I guess. And he wants to marry the daughter of the plantation worker, but or plantation owner, but the owner doesn't want him to or something, and they want him gone. But the daughter doesn't want him gone, and then there's also the daughter's servant lady who doesn't want him gone because the servant lady also likes Barney, and it's just so, why do you like this guy? He's a drunk asshole. Anyway, so basically the guy he doesn't necessarily kill the plantation order. They're basically walking out in the jungle, and Raymond Burr just pushes this old guy over, and then a snake bites the old guy in the face, all while this old woman watches them. And then the old woman places a curse on Barney that basically turns him into a gorilla at night, question mark, because it just seems to happen anytime, every time. Like, he just turns into a gorilla randomly. So yeah, that's the story. Nothing really interesting. It's like the Wolfman but gorilla and the jungle, with lots of stock footage of just animals. They even repeat the same shot of, I think, a leopard and some other stuff, but the jungle stuff is colored so dark you can't fucking see it. There is some fun shots in this movie though. Like the guy, he's like going to reach down something and shows the table, and he's got like a big brown monkey hand. So then he goes like this, and he like stuffs it in his shirt, and he runs off. And he pulls it out, and it's fine. And then later in the movie, he's looking in a mirror. Oh no, this was in Monstrosity, I think. He's looking in a mirror, and there's a sudden see, I thought I was watching watching Monstrosity, and then suddenly there's a gorilla thing that happens. So I thought, like, did that scene just get cut into the wrong movie? Anyway, there's a scene of him like looking in the mirror, and it's like Raymond Burr gorilla suit, and the gorilla suit looks fucking amazingly bad. So then he like punches the mirror and it breaks. That classic duality thing. Like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but gorilla. That's how this movie I can describe is it's just like this, but gorilla. So basically he goes around, he's killing animals. The townspeople are getting worried, and it's very boring again. Until like the climax of the movie is the girl finally chases after Barney. It's like, Barney, stop going out into the jungle if you love me. And he's like, I can't. I don't know why, but I can't. Stay in the house. I gotta go out into the jungle. So then he runs away and he changes into his gorilla form, captures the woman, and the woman screams, and then Lon Chaney Jr. and some other guy start shooting wildly into the forest until they hear a gorilla scream. and then it shows Raymond Burr, no like black spot on his body, no wounds or anything, but you're supposed to know that he's shot. And the woman's like on the ground, knocked out, and then Raymond Burr, he kind of like goes down on his knees, and there's like a puddle of water in front of him. And he looks down, there's the gorilla, and then he just face plants into the water dead. That's basically the end of this movie. I'm gonna have to give this one, again, 5 out of 10. Fairly generic black and white stuff. Ripped off, of course, of better movies. And just better, some of these ideas have been done better other places. So that was the last of this batch of movies. Of course, the Monster Maker wins this round. Keep in mind that we will be having part 4, and then of course the best of each 4 go head to head to see which one's best. Other than that, we'll see you in the next episode. So thanks everybody for watching.